The only thing I know is that I know nothing. This phrase by Socrates is not just words, but a philosophical concept that presents us with a powerful challenge. How can we be sure of our actions if we don't know what is good and what is evil?
Hey friends, today we're going to talk about the most famous philosopher of ancient Greece, Socrates. You've probably heard his name. But let's take a moment to remember who he was and why his ideas still captivate the minds of scholars, philosophers, and ordinary people today.
Socrates didn't leave behind any written works, but his ideas live on through the dialogues written by his students, such as Plato. He was famous for his unique method, the Socratic method, which involved using questions to make people reflect on their beliefs and conclusions.
He was a man who questioned everything that was considered obvious and made others question as well, which ultimately led to the search for truth.
Socrates didn't strive for power or fame.
His main goal was knowledge and the pursuit of truth.
He became the founder of Socratic philosophy, which has had a profound influence on the development of Western philosophical thought. Let's move on to the most complex and interesting topic that Socrates dedicated many of his discussions and reflections to. He argued that virtue is knowledge, and that a person who possesses true knowledge of what is right will always act rightly. But what is virtue? And how can we be sure that we know what goodness is? This is the central paradox in Socratic philosophy. Socrates believed that most people live without asking themselves what goodness is, and why we consider some things to be good.
We take everything for granted and don't think about the roots of our beliefs.
Often, people do wrong not because they want to be evil, but because they don't know that it's wrong. Socrates argued that the lack of knowledge is what leads us to make erroneous actions. He changed his life by analyzing his own actions. Every time he made a mistake, he didn't say he did it because he was evil or wanted to harm anyone. He asked himself, did I know what I was doing? This made him reconsider his behavior and learn.
For Socrates, evil and good were not absolute opposites. In his view, evil did not exist as a separate force, but was a result of ignorance.
People who do bad things do so because they don't know that it's wrong. Socrates gave examples where people, wanting to help, actually caused harm because they didn't understand the consequences of their actions. One striking example he used was the case of an angry person. If someone insults another in the heat of anger, they're not doing it because they want to be evil. They do it because they don't understand how their words might affect the other person, and they don't know that their anger is not the way to solve the problem. You might have encountered a situation where someone accidentally hurt you. This person probably didn't mean to hurt you. They just didn't realize the consequences of their words or actions.
That's human nature. People often act without knowing they are doing something wrong.
Socrates gave us an incredible perspective on human nature.
Everything we do is, in one way or another, tied to our beliefs and knowledge.
Essentially, evil doesn't exist as a separate force, it simply manifests in the absence of knowledge. And perhaps this is why it is so important for us not only to teach, but to learn to seek answers to questions that seem obvious to us. For if we stop asking questions and accepting things at face value, we risk losing the true understanding of what goodness is.
And this is Socrates' great legacy. He made us look within ourselves and examine what we truly know about the world.
Thank you for watching until the end.
I hope this video made you think about a lot of things and maybe even change your perspective on some familiar concepts.
If you enjoyed this conversation about Socratic philosophy, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. See you in the next episode.